Good YouTuber, it's Fairy Tour back in the building, and I posted a video up earlier today. It was a vlog from UFC on Versus number 2, which I attended live, and I actually have a lot of videos from my vacation, which I'm going to post up, and I hope you guys look at every single one of them, even if they're not wrestling or MMA related. I have like videos going to like the zoo, going on Hollywood Boulevard, shit like that. So I hope you guys catch them all. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post them up like scattered, or all at once. But there's anyways. Besides that, I do have other videos I want to do. One particularly on how independent wrestling fans are supposed to act versus mainstream wrestling fans. Just irks me how this dude wants to define how they're supposed to act. But anyway, let's get right into it. We're talking about MMA today. Here we go. And we're talking about UFC 117 Anderson Silva versus Kale Sonnen in particular. And Anderson Silva did win. Yeah, that's how he do. And we're gonna go. As always, I just speak on the main card, so I'm gonna speak from the beginning to the end, just the main card, my scorecard's down there, and yeah, that's about all you guys have to know, I believe. Yes, there are fights which they put into the pay-per-view, but if they're on the main card, I'm not gonna review them or base the final grade I give the pay-per-view on that fight because, of course, they put the main fight or the main preliminary fight on the card, so it makes it better than it's supposed to be. Usually it's a quick fight with a good knockout or a good submission. There might be better fights that go 3 rounds that they can't put on the card because it goes too long, but point is it's not supposed to be on the main card, so I'm not going to judge it. And the reason I keep looking over there, if people want to ask, is because I'm watching a popular old school college football game with Doug Flutie when he played for Boston College. And actually, football season starts tonight. Damn, I'm so pumped. Yeah, because football season does start tonight. I don't care if it's preseason, it's football season. It starts tonight. Hell yeah. Anyways, let's start it. First fight was Roy Nelson versus Junior Dos Santos, and this fight was good. I was surprised that they started out with this fight. It's number one contendership for the heavyweight title. Um, and I thought this would be right before the co-main event, but I was obviously wrong. I thought it would start with like a Clay Guida type fight, but I was obviously wrong. And gladly I was though because it got me into the card. Um, Junior Dos Santos obviously dominated this fight for anyone who saw it. He killed Roy Nelson, but Roy Nelson showed heart, and he showed that he can compete against any of the top guys in the heavyweight division because Junior Dos Santos is the top guy in the heavyweight division, and that's proven by the fact that he is gonna fight the winner of Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who Roy Nelson fights next. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of any. I mean, he could fight maybe a Shane Carwin, but I don't know if he's quite ready for Shane Carwin. But the fact that Shane Carwin's coming off a loss, he's coming off a loss, so it might make sense. They might wait for the loser of Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez to fight Shane Carwin. Um, in that case, not really sure. You can maybe go at Frank Mir, Gabriel Gonzaga. I don't really know where to put Roy Nelson, to be honest. Roy Nelson's kind of like the middle of the pack. Um, I mean, that's all I really got to say about that. Junior Dos Santos definitely looked good. Roy Nelson, the only thing he needs is, I'll say one thing before I move on. He is definitely a lot more mobile, and his stamina is a lot more good than what he appears to be. Basically, his cardio is awesome. This dude is the type of dude that could probably run the treadmill a lot longer than a fit dude who appears to be more fit than he is. This guy, put it this way, I would not want to steal from this dude's store. This guy is fit for a 3 round fight. That's the only thing I'm not sure. He definitely has to work on his cardio, work his way into a 5 round fight because this guy is going to be a contender for the title eventually. And he was struggling in the 3rd round. If you're struggling in the 3rd round, that's not a good look, especially if you're a contender like Roy Nelson. And I didn't really care who won, but I was kind of pulling for Roy Nelson because ultimately he is the people's champion. Everyone's behind him. He's the guy that Dana White did not want to succeed, but he is succeeding, which I love because MMA, or at least UFC, is turning into, I don't know, I want to say pro wrestling, but not really. Like, they're selling their pay-per-views slowly on shit that wrestling would sell it on. Not as much, like, there's not storylines, basically on the minor level. But anyways, I have 3.5 minutes, 4 more fights, so let me move on. Next fight was Matt Hughes versus Ricardo Almeida, and Matt Hughes definitely dominated this fight. Ricardo Almeida was trying to defend his school, of the Gracies. He's trained by the Gracies. Matt Hughes knocked out Gracie's the last fight. He knocked out a Gracie. Um, Ricardo Almeida did not look any better, if not worse. He got rocked, and eventually, 1st round, he lost via submission. Moving on, Matt Hughes is actually looking better than I thought he would. Um, Besides that Matt Serra fight, which I believe should have gone to Matt Serra, but that's a different subject. Anyways, let's move on. Next fight: Clay Guida versus Rafael dos Anjos. Clay Guida won, dominated this fight. First two of the 3rd round. 1st round seemed like he did something to the guy's jaw, to Santos' jaw. 3rd round he made the guy tap. Not sure if it was submission or if his jaw hurt. It seemed like his jaw hurt. Um, but anyways, good fight. But for Clay Guida, it was like, I've seen better from Clay Guida, and I'm sure most of us have. Anyone who follows Clay Guida's career knows this guy puts out a good fight after a good fight, and you can never counter a boring fight out of Clay Guida. This guy puts on match of the night type material, and that's what I expected, but I did not get it. But we'll get onto that later on. Clay Guida won though, regardless. Um, yeah, I guess it was a submission, but submission based off his jaw hurting. Not really sure what to classify that as. Next, John FItch versus Thiago Alves. I was definitely surprised. John FItch, I've been impressed ever since he put up a good fight against George St. Pierre, but I definitely did not expect this out of him. He just totally dominated this fight. No more to say. Thiago Alves looked awful. I know he did not make weight, but I don't know if that got into his head or not. Either way, I mean, it's not like he was bad, but compared to John FItch, he looked awful. And John FItch took this easily. It's gonna be interesting to see where he goes from here, because John FItch put up an excellent fight against George St. Pierre. So after cost check, maybe we'll get John FItch. But either way, the St. Pierre cost check fight is not for a while, so FItch is gonna have to fight between then, regardless, even if he gets the next title shot. But FItch won on the main event. Anderson Silva made Sonnen tap out, and Sonnen was just, I think it was a gimmick, to be honest. I think UFC's turning too much into selling their pay-per-views based off of gimmicks, based off of minor storylines that they try to develop, and I just don't like it. If I pay attention to MMA, it's for MMA. If I want to buy a pro wrestling pay-per-view, it's for pro wrestling type shit. Regardless, people want to hate on Silva, but champions know how to finish. I compared it to this: Detroit Lions beating the Patriots into the 4th quarter. Patriots pull it out. They know how to finish it. That's it. 7 out of 10. Peace. Oh shit, I got 11 minutes. I forgot. Alright, so anyways, and Silva pulled it out like a champion, same way that a football champion like Patriots would pull it out against Detroit Lions. Um, and yeah, I guess now I got 11 minutes. Shit, that works out for me. But yeah, so anyways, Joe Sonnen definitely deserves a rematch. Lots of people are debating whether he should get it right away or not. I could say right away because right now, like, you have Belfort, you have Marquardt, you have Yushin Okami coming off of last week's win, but I don't think anyone would put up a better fight than Sonnen. So we'll see what happens from here. That's about it, guys. It was alright. First fight, last fight were good. Everything in between was meh. I'll give it 7.25. Peace.